أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Welcome back. This is our second session on COVID again. This time our title is Tough Love, Education Through COVID. Before I get into our question and answer for this session, I would like to go very briefly about what we have discussed in the first session. So because it's going to be a prerequisite for this session, we are going to build up on top of the previous session. So in the previous session, we started with questioning as it happens, or as it being spoken about, this disease, COVID, just jumped from bats like animals to humans by some careless people, and then it spread out. And of course, it's some natural phenomena taking place right there. And of course, this puts some tension because now I'm living in this random or a world in which chances are governing it. But then the point that was mentioned back then was what on earth do we observe as out of order? Everything is within perfect order, highlighting that there is an orderer behind everything that's taking place, including from tiniest particle to the galaxies and everything. And of course, from this minute to the micro to the macro, COVID is included, I am included, everything is included. So there is, and there must exist actually, an all-knowing one behind the scenes. Okay, once very briefly concluding on that, okay, let's say there's this God, and of course, for the sake of time, we did it very short, but then let it be by chance or by God. And in this case, okay, you partially convinced me that it's by God, but still I dislike it, I hate it. Why am I going through all these hardships? Why is Creator messing up with me? And as if now I am challenging the Creator, my Creator, saying that why are you giving this discomfort to me? Why are you creating me in this unpleasant condition then? And then a very important point that was made was the problem in me complaining about such situations are because I feel like I take my feelings for granted. So maybe I should first question, where does this feeling come from in the first place? Because is it I am feeling or I am being made to feel as such? The feelings themselves are also being given to them. If I take it like this, which is actually the case, because I don't know, if I was the source of those feelings, I would also know how to get rid of them, but I cannot. So inevitably, I am going through those feelings or those hardships. So then the scene starts changing. This is where actually really the questioning starts changing. So if it is being given to me then, which seems to be the case really, if I think about it for a little bit, then what's going on in here? What's the purpose with that change? And also, even if it is being given to me and it looks like everything within an order, I feel like I at least have some sort of like power to change things or do things. But now you're telling me that everything is within an order, even your feelings are being given to you, then where does my choice fit into that picture? Because I feel like I have choice. And then at the end of previous session, we were reminded that with the metaphor of this steering wheel, so the car is given to me, steering wheel is given to me, so everything is outsourced, it belongs to somebody else. I am given them as tools, if you like, but which way I am going to turn the steering wheel is left to me. Like this choice is left to me, but I'm not able to create the steering wheel. I'm not able to move the car. I'm not able to do any of these, but I'm given the choice to turn the steering wheel to the left or the right. So which, applying it to the reality, means I am being created in an environment in which COVID comes to me, in which I am being inflicted, or me or my friends or my relatives being inflicted with this disease. And I'm feeling sorry for them or for myself. My comfort is going. How do I interpret this? Or do I attempt to understand what it is saying? And do I trying to connect the dots to where does it point to? What does it mean? Or do I say that, no, this is not pointing to anything. It's a thing by itself. And I am a person by myself. I own the car. It is my car. It's my steering wheel, as if and be in that delusional state. And then just live the moment. This is the second option. Live the life as such. So in a short, like there were three major points in the first discussion as I was able to capture. Of course, among there were several small points that were made, but it's not a natural phenomena. There must be an all-knowing maker behind the scenes. The second one was human feelings. Yes, I am being disturbed, but I should question really whether those feelings come to me. Do they really belong to me, or they are being given to me? Once I realized that they are being given to me, then the third point was, how about my choice? It does not create anything. My choice does not create anything, but it is how I interpret, or whether I choose to acknowledge what is being put in front of me or deny it. And at the end of the discussion, the conversation converged to the purpose of my existence in here: to learn, to educate, to get educated, to get to know the maker who is acting behind the scenes. So I would like to start from there. So it looks like the purpose of my human existence is to learn. So my question would be, well, how do I learn? Because apparently what is in front of me is what we discussed were like the universe is in front of me, COVID is in front of me, or the sun rising is in front of me, clouds are in front of me. My feelings, on the other hand, is with me. So there are now two entities that I can learn with. But scientists are using those tools as well. And apparently they are denying the creator at the end of the day. So how do I learn? How can I properly learn? And the reason that I'm asking that question practically is also, what does COVID mean is our question for this retreat, for example, since the beginning. So I would like to learn truly why COVID is in there, but can I really figure it out by just using the universe and also my feelings? So just these two resources, do they really suffice? And apparently it's not sufficing. So how would I know? How would I learn what I'm supposed to learn, or what I'm supposed to make of this existence? How would I do that?
Is it a question directed to me or to the audience?
Oh, to you, to you.
Yeah. Okay, audience, come on, help me, help me.
Yeah. And, for the audience, if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to me from the chat, and then I will direct them to Brother Ali, inshallah. Yeah, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
What am I supposed to learn from it? From anything which happens?
Yeah, and how am I supposed to learn? Yeah, how and what? And is universe and my feelings, do they suffice?
In this context, I know that there will be a third session as well. But in this third session, we discussed with the moderator that we should go into another subject. When the third session comes, we will go there. Now, from now, I think we have to look at the universe, evidence out there, what is happening out there, and my feeling here. One important point is this to me. Although my feelings, plural, uses my body tools to communicate with the universe. For example, the simple example is the eye, and more complicated example is the brain, as tools of seeing, thinking, reflecting. But behind all these tools, I have my feelings. We have to remember that having an eye is different from having a power of sight. For example, dead man has an eye as well. Why doesn't see? Why doesn't he or cannot he think, he sees the relationship between the eye and another agent behind it. Power of sight. Brain also is a tool like an eye, although nowadays the secular scientists try to reduce everything to the brain as to be the source of human reflections, human thought, human concerns, human feelings.
A human consciousness, even a seat of consciousness. They are looking for a seat of consciousness in the brain. Yeah.
No, that is your field. You know that what they are doing to do, reduce everything to material or bodily side of us. But let them do that as much as they can. But we know that life, no, we have body. We have to be careful. We have body, yes, no one denies that. We have, let's put in a straight language, we have life, we are alive, we have life. But let's say animals have, or plants have body, plants have life, animals have body, animals have life. Let's go outside of ourselves first. Compare the plants and the animals. Is there any difference? Yeah. Plants have body and life, but they don't have some things, let's not mention the name of it, different from the animals. Animals have body, life, but not only move, they have feelings. They have some things that they can use. For example, to a certain extent, animals have their feelings and their will. For example, if I approach a tree, does the tree run away from me? No. To kill it? No. So if I approach a cat to catch it, especially I was amazed to see a cat has just given birth to its kids, to her kids. So it was in the corner. I tried to get closer to the babies, to love them, to have an affectionate relationship with them. Never let me. The mother never let me. It's not like a tree. There is a difference. But to a certain extent, cats are given the choice to catch the mice. Right? But we don't know whether they really reason why what is happening in the world, why do they exist. I don't know, but it cannot develop its feelings. It is born with the capacity to catch the mice, and it dies with the feeling to catch the ability, apart from the body, apart from life, to catch the mice. It cannot develop it. A very limited amount. You can train a dog and become a guide dog for the blind people, but it's a very limited. It is also given in a limited sense. For example, you cannot really train a dog to catch a mouse. It is very limited as far as I can see. I don't know the reality. Now come to myself. Is there any difference between me and animals and plants? This is obvious. As it is obvious the difference between plant and animals. It is obvious between me and the animals. So what is it? I can reason, I can develop my potentialities. For example, I can learn another language, I can learn another profession if I take it. So we understand that through training, we can make a great difference in our capacities. So the difference between untrained human feeling and trained human feelings. It is obvious. It means I am in this world with enormous capacity, with almost innumerable options to develop my feelings through using my free will, to become an engineer, to become a mechanic, to become a carpenter, whatever it is, whatever the option I choose, I can develop it. That marks one thing in my reality, that my capacities are not fixed. That is one, the not fixed capacity. I'm just taking notes for myself. The second is I can make progress in or improvement in my capacity. For what? Now, it is amazing to see that my capacity develops in such a way that I can ask the question to the universe, which goes beyond the limits of the universe to answer my questions. I'm slowly coming to your question. For example, I can ask a tree or a star or a planet, how do you turn a tree? How do you grow? The tree in its existence gives the answer. If I study its existence, the tree doesn't give the answer consciously, but the way it is created includes the answer in it, how it is growing or how it is going to die. And the earth, I can study how it is revolving because of gravity, etc. I know that it gives me the answer in its existence. But when I ask the question, for example, how come that you exist? You come into existence. Earth says, here I am. Nothing more. Why do you exist? So that I will relate to myself. Why do I exist? It just shows it that it has some qualities on it. I can read the qualities on it, but I cannot relate the qualities manifested in its existence, in its actions, to anything other than the universe. I cannot go beyond the limitations of the universe. Although I can imagine, but I cannot imagine anything which does not exist. Now, I don't know whether this point is clear or not. It exists within the conditions of the universe. I cannot investigate anything beyond the capacity of the universe. But my questions go beyond the capacity of the universe. Why do you exist? How come that you got these qualities? I know that you have some qualities manifesting as if they're art quality. For example, whether I am being very abstract or not, but please, if I'm not clear, remind me. I am looking at a piece of art. I see that piece of art consists of materially, mainly painting and matter, anything the painting is applied to. Okay. I look at the canvas where the painting is done, and I look at the paint, different colors of paint. I don't see the quality manifested in it. Sorry. I don't see the quality which exists with the painting to anything to be the source of the existence of the art. It means canvas cannot really be the source of existence of the art that we say is a beautiful painting. And paint also cannot claim that it is the source of the existence of the art. Like a book, very simple example, the book. When I look at a book, I see the paper, I see the traces of ink on it. It's a simple example. I keep repeating this example on every occasion. It's beautiful, it's simple. So I see it, but yes, paper is there, yes, ink is there, and the shape of the ink. Now, because the book was written in certain figures, can I attribute to the knowledge, information I get from this writing to the paper? No. To the ink? No, the ink is conveying this information to me, or the source of the information to me. Can I attribute it to these means at all? No. But I am a human being. I ask the question, where did this meaning or where did this art come from? Which is very human. If I am, let's come back to the art example or book example. Excuse me. If I am a part of, excuse me. If I am a part of the book, let's use that analogy. Book represents the universe. I am a piece in it. And art represents the universe. I am a piece in it. But I am a conscious being. I ask the question, I know that art exists in the painting. I know that information, knowledge exists in the book. I ask the question, where the meaning, the art came from? I have the quality to ask this question. I have been given this quality to ask the question so that I will relate it to myself.
So I am aware of the existence of the book. I'm aware of the existence of the letters and the ink and the paper, but I sense something more than that, which is meaning. But I don't observe meaning, or I cannot attribute that meaning to any of the things that I observe in the first place so far. Yeah.
But not only the question, why does the art exist? Why the information, knowledge exists in the book? Before this, I asked the question, how they exist? From where did they come? Following this question, according to the answer I found for them, I would ask, why? But first, we cannot make the distinction between, sort of separation between question how and question why. That is interesting because I realized that, first of all, I mean, I will be a little bit...
in the interest of time, we can move faster, yeah.
So faster, I cannot go faster. I am an old guy. Please excuse me. Please, I cannot really run. I can just slowly walk. So now, how and why is very important among the believers as well. The people who believe in God, they say, science tells us how, the answer to how. Religion tells us answer to why. It is a very, very crucial misconception. Very important misconception. Science cannot give me the answer by studying the nature of the book where the information knowledge came from.
And by that you mean the very existence of. So let me put it to the verge of the first session. So in terms of my feelings, I was taking them for granted. And then maybe I can talk about when I am happy, I am not sad. Let's say I am talking about their relationship afterwards. But still the starting point is I never questioned the very existence of how the feeling of happiness coming or sadness coming from. I took them for granted. So now in the context of what you are saying, the existence of beings are being taken for granted, but not being questioned. How come things exist in the first place? So this how is not being studied at all. Am I correct?
That is very helpful. Thank you. It's a very good clarification. Science only, the science means human ability, only get the answer to his questions, how the paper exists, how the ink exists, how the painting exists. Now, they can study this, although they cannot really see the agent in their existence, but in the materialist approach, they say it is how we found it. Where did you find it? That's another question. That's a philosophical question. Now they usually omit it. They say, okay, we found it. I'm going to study what I found. Okay, fair enough. All right. But can you get the meaning, the source of existence of the meaning? Can you get the source of existence of human feelings? Can you really find out the source of existence of the art in the universe? Where did they, how they came into existence? Science or the human endeavor within the limitations of this material world cannot go beyond the material elements that they can have interaction with. They cannot go beyond it. So human feelings keep asking, how come feelings exist themselves, meaning exists in the example of the book, and the art exists in the example of the painting. So they are all related to universe actually, and myself as well. I am within this, but strangely enough, I have been given the qualities to ask, where did they come from? No one can stop me to exercise, to utilize these qualities. And then I have to ask the question, where did I get these feelings? Now, of course, during the first session, we said there must be created. But in this session, we are going to discuss the tough love. Tough love. Loving, but very tough love. Okay. We are just introducing the subject to our friends here. Okay. There is no answer within the universe to this kind of questions, whether related to how, and a further stage related to why. Why does it exist? Why do I have these feelings? All these stages must be taken into consideration at the same time, but first how, and then why, and then look for an answer. The answer you cannot find within the universe. Now,
so at most with my feelings and with the universe out there, at most I'm able to say that there must be a maker behind the scenes, but I cannot go beyond that.
But
okay.
At this stage, we have to notice that knowing the nature of the source of existence, the maker, with your language, the maker of these qualities of knowledge, the qualities of art, qualities of feelings, including life, I cannot know the nature of it, but I can make sense that definitely it is within my capacity. These qualities must have an origin. They exist. Anything exists must have a cause. That is what the very principle of this secular science as well. What they are doing, what we are doing in this world, looking for the cause of any effect, anything that we are having. How come it is happening here? What is the reason behind it to happen in this way? So this cause, asking for the cause of existence of anything, which we call it the source of existence of anything, is very essential human question and cannot be found within the universe. So I have direct my questions, feelings that what am I doing? What am I supposed to do with this? Or with the questions that I ask, I am concerned with very much. I am concerned with the questions that my senses ask. So for example, how come I exist? How come these feelings exist? And that the feelings require the answer and the universe cannot provide the answer. I say, as a conclusion, there must be a source. There must be a maker of these feelings. And of course, inevitably, if the universe cannot answer my questions, where the universe get its qualities from, it says, it is not me. That's it. Universe only says what? The source of existence of the art in the painting is not me. Okay, not me. Source of existence of knowledge in the book is not me. That's very, very essential to start with for any kind of intellectual activity. Matter and this matter aspect of the universe declares that I am not the source of existence of the qualities manifested in me. I have to come to myself and apply this conclusion to me. All the qualities of asking the questions in me cannot be the source of my body, cannot be the source of the feelings themselves. The one who has provided it. So I have to accept as a logical conclusion that the answer must be provided by the creator of these senses. Now I have to look for it.
So the one who allows me to question must give me the answer also.
That is why I call it's an invitation. Yeah. From one aspect, they are the promises which we discussed in the first session. In this session, invitation. So that's what I have to present to you and to the audience, to our friends here, as an answer to your question. The one who I'm just wrapping up, the one who gave existence of my ability to question any kind of question must provide the answer. From my perspective, it must. Otherwise, the one who created me with these qualities of asking questions, my concerns, will be or would be contradicting itself, giving the capacity, but not answering or really replying to its own action, contradicting itself. It is impossible. I don't see any contradiction in the universe.
Yeah. So then what I understand so far is, as we talked about, I am being created, feelings are being created, then I question where they are coming from, and I have all those tons of questions which are not being answered by the things themselves. And the feeling of like the ability to ask those questions shows me that the maker or the one who gives those questions to me must give answers to me. And from that, I guess we are coming down to revelation, like the creator, the maker must speak to me to give answers to me. But in here, I would like to open a parenthesis because there was also a question from the audience. One audience was saying that how can I be certain what I am learning is what he wants me to learn? Because especially if it's a speech, let's say now we are having this conversation with you, you say something and I say, oh, is this what you mean? And then you correct me, or you say, yes, this is what I meant. So because language is such a thing that I can take it in multiple different ways. So far I have three things at hand. One was the universe, the second one was my feelings, and now the third one in the equation we put in revelation, like speech of God talking to me. But is this enough really to conclude what is meant or to find answers? As this one of our audience asked, how would I be certain, or would it be sufficient for me to be certain on what I'm learning is what he wants me to learn?
Now, that question reminded me, how can I make sure any claim that says I am the revelation, or I have received the revelation and I'm conveying the revelation to you in any means? I mean, classically we call it prophets, messengers, bringing the message, whatever it is. So universe is a messenger bringing the message that it has qualities, and these qualities don't belong to him. That's one. And my feelings that I have the quality to ask, but these qualities don't belong to me. Yeah, I understand that. But when it comes to certainty, we have to use the means available to us. Whether any claim to be the revelation, or it means God's, Creator's guidance or answers to me. Let's call the revelation is the answer of the Creator of my questions. Now, how can I make sure that which one is correct, and is it really somewhere there? First of all, we have to establish, although we try to establish that logically, there must be an answer. That is for sure. There must be an answer to the questions that I ask. The second stage of the question is, how can I be certain, as the audience asked? How can I be certain this answer is the right answer? There are only two ways of searching it. First of all, I have to look at the nature of this revelation, if you like, or the claim that I am the answer of your Creator. Now, how can I do that? Now, if the text or anything, any information claims that I am the speech of the Creator of my senses, I am the speech or the answers of the Creator of your senses, Creator of the universe out there, it must be corresponding. The speech must be corresponding to the evidence in the universe, to the evidence in my being. For example, if the text says, or a text, or nowadays text, but any source that claims to be the answer, of course, in this sense, we cannot use these limited examples of the book or the painting, because the book is written by a man, it is created within the universe, the painting is performed by a painter, it's a man also created. This is not enough, the example. We have to go beyond these examples now. I have to see that the one who created the universe also asked or gave me the ability to question whether this news, this message, let's put it message now, let's say it message, this message is the Creator of the universe, is from the Creator of the universe, or is from the Creator of my senses. This ability is given to me as well, to question the legitimacy of the claim of the text or message. So when I need evidence. That is how I am created, and the evidence must be provided in a way that I may access to it. It must be available to me. So what I should do, I should try to see the legitimacy of the claim of the message is whether it is compatible to the manifestations of the qualities I observe in the universe and I observe within myself as well. But one thing is essential. It is easy to say that the qualities manifested in the universe do not belong to the universe, but it is not that easy to say that the qualities within me, manifested within me, don't belong to me. I must be careful there. All the qualities must be compatible with the claim of the text that I am from the creator of this quality. So the answer must satisfy my expectations. The answer in the
as they say in English, he must walk his talk. Like the action should match with the speech, and action being the universe should match with his speech being the revelation.
Yeah, that is why I look for the answer which matches my human expectations. So I want an answer to my question where this universe came from. I want an answer to my question, why did it come into existence? As we said, the universe is silent as to be the source of the answer to these questions. But the message which claims to be, I have to go to the message and check whether it matches my expectations. But what I have to be there, very careful, it matches my expectations as far as the capacity of my feelings. Then I have to be very careful not to attribute these feelings to myself, but attribute them to their creator. So their creator demonstrates two things. One is in the universe, although existence of the universe is limited. Everything in the universe is limited. Now, it means a tree is a tree, but the qualities manifested in it manifests at the same time in all the trees, plus in all the living beings, including myself. At the same time. Yeah. What does it mean? At the same time, from space-wise, it means whatever I can see right now, the qualities manifested in the tree, for example, to tree's existence tells me the one who created me within the context of the whole universe must have the capacity to create the whole universe. I go to a cat example. The cat says in its existence, it says, the one who created me must be able to create all the beings on the earth so that he put me within the context of the whole universe perfectly, harmoniously working. It means that space-wise, everything demonstrates that every quality in its existence must be present in the existence of everything else. Yep. Now, come back to time dimension. I have a relationship between me and my existence yesterday and 10 years, 20, 50 years ago. I am expecting that my existence will continue in connection with my experience right now, experience of existence right now. So the source of existence, the qualities of the source of existence, the maker, or sorry, not must. The source of the qualities of the source of the existence in me must have a relationship between my past and my future. They are harmoniously working in order. So we notice that there are two orders at the same time harmoniously working. What does it mean? The order as it is now at one point of time in the world, and the order time-wise. Though this order also works harmoniously with each other in a perfect order. There is no break between yesterday and today, but there is a change. The change is taking place in everything. Nothing is static, everything is dynamic, and it means their existence is continuously being changed, and the quality is also continuously being reflected, manifested in harmony with each other. Perfectly adjust. It means none of the things at none of the times can be attributed to anything other than the one who is the source of existence of this universe. What does it mean? The source of existence of the universe must be absolute one, not limited. With limited power, nothing can do it. Human mind can understand that. So this message must have included in it that this message is coming from a one who is an absolute being. In his own qualities, he must be absolute. And you, and speaking to me and asking me as a human being, telling me that, oh, human being, you need an absolute source of existence in order to fulfill your expectations, human expectations, that we find that, look, what I want to be in existence in the perfect way, and as a human being, I want to be in existence in the most pleasurable way, enjoyable way. And the message says only the maker can fulfill it. But if the message confuses this, it confuses means this. What does it mean? The creator is not able to do anything. The creator doesn't know something. The creator is limited with the capacity of the universe. These are representing different sources which claim to be the message from the creator. That is why I have to check the creation, the message, with the evidence that I deduce from the universe, I deduce from myself, but I have to be careful not to own the feelings to myself.
Yeah. So we have slightly more than half an hour, and we barely entered the topic. So, there's revelation, and the revelation must match with the existence and the feelings that are given to me. But the point that I was also willing to ask is, this revelation is given at the hands of messengers. So, like, if the text was sufficient, why is there those messengers then? Like the human messengers. I'm specifically talking about the questions that I ask in human language being responded in human language, like the revelation, but they're being given in the hands of the messengers. And the reason I'm bringing up messengers is because we have been talking about COVID as an tool for education, or the purpose of human existence being education. And prophets are seemingly, or at least claiming to be educators, teachers themselves. But why is there this need for those messengers? So, like the three that we counted so far, first one was universe, the second one was feelings or consciousness, and the third one was now revelation. Why is there this fourth element that revelation is coming up with, the messenger? And again, soon I'm going to ask another question to tie this to COVID. So in mind, and we have like 35-40 minutes at most, so just to keep in perspective.
So I'm always very careful and take my time to establish the foundation first. Now, why this message should come to me? Should come to me through a messenger. It means a man like you and me. There are, for example, do you think that I can ask a counter question in order to clarify the subject? Do you think that the universe is a message as well from the Creator to disclose his qualities to me?
Yes.
Yeah. How about my feelings? Is a messenger? As a messenger, it means
yes.
Yeah, from my Creator to disclose. But still, I ask the question: how can I make sense of all this? And how can I attribute to this, attribute the answer to the Creator and then relate myself to my Creator? Then a message must come to me through a teacher. It means teacher means the Creator knows that He has manifested His absolute qualities in the creation, including myself, manifested it. But I still don't know how to benefit from it, because everybody wants to get education. No, if you want to become in a simple profession, you have to get training, education. That is how we are created. No, that's how my reality is. So I need education, but can I learn how to become or how to obtain a profession from, for example, the world outside there, or through a
Textbook.
teacher of the same kind as me, so that I can relate it to, and the teacher can teach me as a human being according to my capacity, again, as a human being. So we can relate to each other. So the message must be, the abstract message is not enough to me. Why? Abstract message gives the information in an abstract form, but I don't know what to do with it. How can I, for example, educate myself according to this message, the content of this message? I need practical example for me. So the practical example, the Creator who created me with the need for a practical example must send the message through a practical teacher. Yeah. It means a human being like me, so that I can take a lesson from it. I can learn that it is possible, humanly possible, to put into practice, so that I can also put it into practice, taking the lesson from the teacher. It means going through the education with the teacher. Okay. That's why the human teacher is necessary. Otherwise, I cannot benefit from it. Theoretically, I may understand, but I cannot relate it to my practical life.
So yeah, then speech or the revelation as text, to some extent, maybe I can intellectualize about it, but for training my feelings or my state, let me put it this way, training me as a human as a whole in all my states, I am in need of someone is trained in all those states, in all those feelings, so that I can relate to this person being the messenger and the students of the messenger. Of course, this topic is a huge topic in and of itself, to be maybe discussed for an entire discussion or a retreat for itself. But for the sake of time, let's cut it short here. So now we have four: universe, human conscience, and then revelation, and the fourth one being messenger for training. Now let's bring in COVID into the picture. Because we said at the end of previous session, my purpose is training, and now I have those four elements for training. How does COVID fit into that picture? So if we can, is it, what sort of a training? And I'm going to get deeper into that, but the education, it's not a pleasant education sort of a thing. This is why the title of this session was Tough Love. It's not like like teacher loves the students, should be making it as easy as possible for the students, and so as to make the learning easy. But COVID, for example, or any sort of diseases or wars are not pleasant. Or what sort of a training am I supposed to get from here? And can you share some examples for that, for example? Or how can I, what does Revelation tell me about this? Or what does Prophet tell me about this? Because we talked about the first two in the first session, universe and feelings, but now we are bringing in Revelation and Messenger also. So COVID, how is it a teacher then? What am I supposed to learn from it?
Okay, I think because of the time strain, I have to learn how to be concise. So COVID represents anything we don't like. COVID represents anything we call disaster. Yeah, something wrong going on according to my expectations. So what can be the purpose of the Maker to put me into this dramatic situation, as if giving me, or torturing me, as if giving pain to me in order to educate me? But everybody knows that education through love, loving relationship, is the best way of education. Correct. So what I see in the revelation and also in my nature, this kind of hardship, tough creation, is the result of love. What? Somebody is torturing me as a result of love. Yes? So I have a picture of this. Now, we are in this world. No, we cannot do anything. We cannot provide answer by ourselves. Only if we are given, we accept it. If we are not given, for example, if the vaccine for COVID is not provided within the order of the universe, would it be possible that we can find it? Find, in quote unquote, find it? Now, if there wasn't there, I cannot find it. No. But at the same time, I need it, but there must be. So message says, and my expectations says, all my expectations say, you have to go through a training as a result of love. But you have to accept your reality. I imagined a picture. This universe is, as far as my expectations are concerned, looks like a desert. Yeah, wild area, desert, wild area. I have a lot of expectations and the universe cannot really give it. For example, I want eternal life that the universe doesn't give me. I want never-ending happiness the universe doesn't give me. The universe says, no, you have to die. You have to get old. Yeah, you have to lose all your abilities, the universe says to me. But the Creator says, this is a loving relationship. So I am in the desert, and I am in the desert because I cannot really get what I expect, my feelings expect. But at the same time, the Creator says, through my feeling, through the revelation, through the prophetic teaching, prophet says, this is good for you. This is good for you. Although you are in pain, but it is good for you. You are learning your reality. It looks like I am in a desert, and I am a young boy or girl, young girl is in a desert, and the mother comes to her help with a helicopter and draws down the ladder, asks the mother asks the child, says, come on, as the revelation is speaking now. My feeling is also accompanying this speech. Mother tells the child, says, climb up to me, I will take you and put you on my breast, embrace you, and provide everything for you. The child says, no, I can provide myself everything. Look, then the mother panics now. The child is not coming. Mother represents what? I mean, in this world, the best example of compassion. What mother does now? Mother starts educating the child by saying, look, if you don't come here, accepting that you cannot provide what you need for yourself, within the conditions, you see that we cannot provide what we need, eternal happiness. What we cannot do it. We cannot really get it here. The universe cannot give me. Desert. In this sense, the universe looks like a desert. He uses tough language now. Tough language. Says, look, you are harming yourself. The snakes, the crabs, and the wild animals will eat you, disturb you. You cannot find whatever you need there. You cannot feed yourself. You cannot find anything there that you need. The tough language, and reminds the child her helplessness, her very, very needy conditions and expectations that cannot be provided within the conditions of the desert. So the language is, we are not expecting the language from the revelation, from the loving God, to use that, okay, my dear daughter, you can do whatever you want, but you will learn it. Very sweet language, but sorry, but it will be late for you. Okay, you are free. Okay, I'm going. If you are not coming to me, I am going and going away. This is an example that we human beings need some tough life conditions as a result of the Creator's compassion, love, so that I will really realize my reality, what my reality is, but really realize it, really.
In here, may I chime in to just highlight this reality part, because it's also related to the first session when we were saying don't take your feelings for granted. So for instance, since the example you gave was about mercy, if I am being given life in a most comfortable fashion, I would never actually even be thankful, because everything is already there. That's like the comfort is already there. If it never goes away, I will never even question whether this comfort is being given to me, because it was always there. So I guess this is the reason I never realize my condition, my reality, I guess, in here. Do you mean that my reality is I don't own anything, actually? Once I am put into that desert, like if that compassion is temporarily taken away from me, apparently, like being in the, let's say, health. If I'm always healthy, I don't know really the value of health. But once that health is taken away from me, then I am being face to face with my reality, meaning that I don't own the health. Okay.
That is very correct. In the absence of my expectations, I realize, everybody knows that when, for example, something happens that you start feeling pain in your belly, somewhere on your side, and then go to the doctor, it says your, how are they called?
Appendix?
No, this side. Kidneys.
Kidneys, okay.
Kidneys not working properly. What? What do? They list you hundreds, maybe thousands of functions of the kidney. How do they purify? How do they do all this? They take the things away, harmful things. And then I realize the important functionings of the kidney. And then I become, oh, I never realized that even I have kidneys, this kind of organs in me. This is the way that we human beings learn. From the absence. For example, if ignorance did not exist, do I need to learn? Do I need that I have to learn? Do I feel the need? So through the absence, that is the reality of this creation. Through the absence of something that I can learn. For example, I exist. It means I'm given existence. I'm created. Somebody gave me the existence. If I was not created, can I learn what or who the creator is? The fact that I am created is the only mean to learn who my creator is, what my creator is. The fact only from the lack of something I can learn. But for example, the beautiful life you said, very satisfactory life in the example you gave. This example shows that, yeah, I am very comfortable now, but what is it? What comes with it? Transience of the comfort. Transience of my life comes there. Says, and reminds me, I have this valuable thing. For example, give an example. You have in your house, on your possession, very valuable things. At night, you heard that there is a cracks, the sounds coming from the window. What do? You got alarmed because of the fear of lose of that valuable things. The only thing that we learn from, the more we have, the creation is taking place in such a way that the more we don't want to lose it, but the fact of the creation is demonstrating continuously that it is going to be taken away from me. So, but my senses don't want to lose it. But the reality happening in the universe, it is going. You will live it, even it doesn't leave you, it doesn't get old, still you are very rich, let's say. But at the end, you will leave all your wealth behind. That is the way that we are subject to experience the reality. It means going beyond the limitations of this universe means the universe as it is cannot satisfy my expectations. So the source of existence of the universe is inviting me, only me, I can satisfy you. So the universe is so wisely established in accordance with my capacity, perfectly adjusted to each other. Perfectly. My capacity expects something that the universe demonstrates that it is not me who is going to satisfy it. So look for a source. That is the purpose of our existence, to learn what our reality is. And this learning takes place only through lack of something. The typical, even the primary school students know it. If there was no darkness, there would be no realization of light. So only this, I think you are saying.
Yeah, so for human, I guess this is how, just looking at us, how learning is defined for us. We can only learn through those opposites or lack of things. The presence of a thing is known by lack of it. I appreciate the presence of health by lack of health. This is why diseases are very good training tools, educational tools then. Although I don't like it, like my feelings dislike it, but we already established in the first session that I should also question why I am made to dislike it. It's not that I don't like it, but I am made not to like it, which is again becoming another level of learning. So it's very good now that we reframe those apparent calamities as learning tools. But I would like to again bring in the revelation and the messengers into the picture, because in Quran there are multiple examples or about calamities at large scale being given to nations when they deny message and messenger. So yes, COVID can be an educational tool, but is there this aspect of punishment, or where does punishment play a role? How can we interpret those Quranic narratives? Because in the other hand, we don't observe that much anyways. Like in the old days, Quran says, we did this to people of Salih, we did this to people of Noah and whatnot. But when it comes to our age, does such large scale punishments happen, or how can I make sense of those narratives, Quranic narratives?
Quranic narratives are related to our reality. It means I have to bring them to my life, because by definition, my Creator speaks to me through the teachers, exemplary life of the teachers. So I can see that, oh, it is possible to do that. And also when I look at the messenger, which is closest to me, the messenger, which is famous for wisdom, Muhammad as the messenger. So look at the life of the messenger of God, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. So we see that through the calamities, all we are learning all this, and the Quran is full of the narrations of the calamities. Now, if the Quran is speaking to me, if the exemplary life of the Prophet is also a means of, a tool of, means of educating me right now, I have to bring it to my life conditions. For example, what happened to Noah? Now, what happened to Noah? Noah's people? He delivered the message. No one listened. And he said, okay, I'm going to prepare my own ark. Okay. They said, well, I mean, some people make this scenario a bit enlarged. It says that it was a desert when they were living. But I don't know, whatever it is. But the people found that this man is, Noah was crazy. Why? It doesn't rain anything. Why do you make this ark here? It means in the universe, if we don't realize that this universe is transient, but I want eternal happiness, I don't need, if I think that in this way, I don't need to make my ark, because I don't need the preparation. I just take it like as granted. Of course, I don't need the message. Do you see what I mean? I don't need the ark. So Noah makes his ark. There, the people make muck of it. I mean, just says, oh, you must be a crazy man. What are you doing here? But what happened now? The flood comes. What does it mean? As the message was clear, as the message became obvious, they realized that either they have to accept the message and get the answer to their expectations, which means, oh yeah, my Creator must provide me what I want, what I need, because He is the one who gave me the need. But if they don't accept it, what they have to suffer, they have to suffer the flood. Flood represents what for me now? Flood represents the inability of the universe to satisfy me. And my expectations and the unsatisfactory capacity of the universe itself starts having a clash, fighting with each other now. I want eternal happiness. Universe says, no, there is no eternal happiness. So I am under the flood of the universe's message that there is no eternal happiness. You are helpless. You are going to drown by my reality. The universe says, my reality. My reality is there is no answer to your expectations. You are desperate to suffer from. If I don't listen to the message, it means get on the ark of the prophet, messenger, and say, oh yeah, my creator, my existence belongs to him, my feelings belong to him, it is from him, and he will satisfy. He promises by giving me these needs that he will satisfy. Now, if we don't understand these narrations in the Quran, in the revelation, according to the life conditions of myself, and I am here as the agent of everything. If I don't listen to the message, I am in flood. If I listen to the message and get on the ark, the same flood, which is transience of the universe, temporariness of the universe, takes me to realize that the temporary universe must have a permanent creator. It's continuously changing, but the creator is not changing. Creator's qualities, the manifestations of the creator's qualities are not changing. It means the universe is only the way to realize that my source of existence is the absolute self-existing one. When I see my existence from this perspective, I say, yeah, I belong to him. He will take care of my needs. He created the needs. He will take care of my needs. I am on the flood, in the ark, message of the prophet.
The water that drowned the one that rejects the messenger is floating my ship, or floating me. Yeah.
Saving me.
Saving me, yeah.
Yeah, so that is the language of the message, includes in it lots of threatening. Like the mother was threatening the baby with her child out of love, saying, look, if you don't come to me, if you still say that I'm going to satisfy myself, you cannot. You will destroy yourself, you will damage yourself, you will suffer a lot. This language is so severe in the Quran, for example, in the Torah as well. Lots of threatening language. Why? Out of love. Yeah. For example, the COVID is a message from a loving creator. Hey, you started thinking that all the world, all together, technology will save us. Here you are. You are defeated by so small that you cannot see virus, and you tremble for a year or more, still continuing that you cannot really guarantee your life, and you have to question it. Who am I? What is going on in this world? This is the call for awakening. Out of not anger, out of not hatred, love. We need that. That is human nature. We have to learn.
Mm-hmm. So then, just to reiterate, in the example of Noah and flood, COVID becomes that flood or the water. And if I claim that, no, we conquered the earth, we are strong as humanity and whatnot, it really drowned us practically. We saw that many millions of people are dead and much, much more are hospitalized and diseased. But for the believer, even who himself or herself might have become sick or even died of that disease, it reminds us of this transitoriness, but points to the source and the eternal source, the source becoming eternal. and it's becoming up a wake-up call, an invitation, or a promise, an invitation, as you said at the beginning of this conversation. So to invite me to the chest of mercy.
Yeah, this is, for example, looks like an surgeon cuts off the limb of a person whose limb is suffering from gangrene, or I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks like severe, but as I had the operation in my body, the doctor said, yes, there is a risk of death for you. Will you take it? Will you sign that I accept it? But we have to take something out of your arteries. Cut. But he's not going to give me something. He's taking out of something from me. And I was so happy that even at the risk of death, I will accept it. Take it away, take it away. You see that these wrong approaches that I have needs to be removed from me. If I don't have it, the mercy of the Creator comes to me and does an surgical operation on me, showing that you need this operation. But again, it is up to me. Do I say that the surgeon who made the operation on me cut it off because a punishment to me, or as a help? Which one?
Yeah, it's a help, especially for those who are willing to take it, though. So, I mean, this is a very beautiful interpretation to take it. So it's a merciful invitation for all. But also there's this other aspect that I would like to also put another question mark. There are people who are drowned by that also. So again, I'll reiterate my question about the punishment aspect of it. Definitely there's this learning and education aspect for those who choose to get on the ship or the Ark of Noah. And how about the ones that are drowning? So is there this punishment aspect of it? And can we take COVID as also a punishment? Where does punishment fit into that picture?
No, I think we don't have much time, but quickly, we have to realize that what my nature is, what the nature of my actions, my feelings, my connection with my Creator, or not connection, disconnection with my Creator is not known to me. So it is not up to me to pass a judgment that this person is suffering from this illness. It is a punishment from the Creator. No, it is out of mercy. We don't know. Maybe this person is punished for something or not. I cannot pass a judgment about this person. But I can only say that what it is happening here is out of mercy. But this man is going to benefit from it. After death, it will be too late. Now, it is the subject of the third session. Is it this word is the end of everything, or there must be something else, so that this treatment that we cannot know why a person is given some sort of hardship, whether it is because they deserve some punishment or they deserve some reward. For example, when you go to the school, a tough teacher, let's assume that, very simple example, assume that the teacher gives, let's say, A in US standards, A to everyone. Would you study really seriously?
Of course not.
No, that's our reality. So if the teacher doesn't give A to everyone and says, okay, everybody will be given as they deserve. What I have to do, if I don't study, if I don't learn, I get F. Fail. I fail. And it looks like a punishment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a result of my not learning. But as far as I am concerned, I am suffering from F. But as far as the teacher is concerned, he is teaching me that I have to study and learn. But from my from my perspective, it is a punishment. From the Creator's perspective, it is a reward that I have to learn. That I need to learn, and I have to learn. So I have to make the distinction. From my perspective, it may seem to be punishment, but I have to think that from the Creator's perspective, it is a mercy, it is maybe a reward. That is why, typical example, everybody knows that in the narrations of the prophetic lives in the Qur'an, and also in the narrations of the prophet, messenger of God, Muhammad ﷺ's life, they went through the hardest living conditions.
You mean prophet themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why? Do you think they need to punishment, or they have to practice under these conditions that be a good example for us that anything hardship comes from the mercy of God. So I need it. But somebody dies, but this person is dead now. He's not learning anything. We don't know. We don't know he's learning anything or not. We didn't witness the last moment of his life, so that he might have taken a lesson from it and said, oh, I realize that, my God, I am really in need of your mercy, and you are giving me this opportunity for the last time that I have to admit my reality and come to you with this admission. We don't know. So I have to look at the world from my perspective. So this person is suffering from this. This is not, I cannot say that it is a punishment, but I have to say, definitely, as far as the creator of this event, it means as far as the creator of death for everyone at the end, yeah, everyone is going to receive the death, but death is the death a punishment or not? That everyone will suffer from the death. This is the worst scenario. So this is the subject of the last session.
Yeah, and Jazakallah khair, very beautiful conversation. And to tie to the next session also, there are verses in Quran which says, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةُ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, and this was one of the verse snippets that we'll put to our flyer for this retreat. So no one is going to be held accountable for somebody else's mistake. This is one verse in Quran. And then وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا, and we are not going to punish until we send messengers to people. So these are apparently saying that if you don't do anything wrong, you're not going to get punished. Yet children are being killed in the war zone or being inflicted with COVID. So these are some questions that we have in mind: the education and punishment, and then these speech from the Revelation, but also then another verse again from Quran, وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنكُمْ خَاصَّةً. So avoid those fitna, let's call it as trials or educational tools. I don't know how you'd like to translate it, but it doesn't only afflict the guilty among you. So non-guilty are also being afflicted with what appears to be punishment. So these are, and as you said, eventually death is, everybody is getting afflicted with death, like good or bad, evil people, or even prophets themselves. So this becomes another huge question mark, and let's leave it in here to like as a cliffhanger for the next session. Jazakallah khairan. And I'm saying, since we are out of time, I would love to take questions from the audience, but let me conclude the presentation here, and then if anybody has any questions, we can continue off the record. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم